Yeah, changing the game through real estate. Yeah.
Hey everyone, it's Tyler Wynn with the winning team, and this is the Changing the Game Through Real Estate podcast. One of the main reasons we started this show was we wanted to help people by bringing on guests with inspiring stories that can teach us information that we should have been taught in schools. So many people don't know this about me. I actually blew out my knee playing football years ago. Well, what happened was I was playing linebacker and I went to rush the quarterback, and the lineman went to cut me, and instead of cut me like a normal person, he grabbed and held my leg. So when I fell over top of him, my leg kind of stayed there and ended up tearing everything: ACL, LCL, PCL, meniscus. Even had common pro and nerve damage in my leg where I couldn't even lift my foot up. So after two surgeries and a couple years later, still having back issues and issues with my knee, for some odd reason, I decided to join CrossFit Krypton again. And can honestly say I feel better now than I ever have. I think that has a lot to do with CrossFit. So all that being said, I'm really happy we had the opportunity to interview Ben Smith, 2015's fittest man in the world, where he shares his story on how he got started in CrossFit and why he started CrossFit Krypton, and how health and fitness can help you accomplish anything in life. Also, if you like coffee and working out, you really need to check out Taxus Street Coffee. Their whey iced latte is the perfect post-workout, and you get the boost of coffee all in one. They are located inside Big Ugly Brewing, and trust me, you're going to be happy I told you.
It's actually his story is kind of unique. He started in college sports and then became a gym owner and then became 2015 fittest man in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm so glad that I get to introduce Ben Smith. Can you kind of tell us how your story and how you kind of got started in CrossFit and becoming a business owner? And that's kind of a mouthful, but a long story. But can you just tell us
thanks
how you got started?
Thanks for having me on. I got started back in in the very tail end of high school. So it was a long time. It was a long time ago. When was that? 2006, I believe it was around then. My dad was in the military still, and he had a friend that was doing CrossFit, and it was like just all into CrossFit. You know, he drank the CrossFit Kool-Aid, is what you call it, right? Just upset, loved it, and was telling my dad about it. And was telling him about the website CrossFit.com, which I have to preface it with that, like back then there were no affiliates.
Yeah.
So like you didn't have a gym that you could just go to. This was even before the affiliate model even started. I think they had 2 affiliates maybe in California, but they were all like within 10 or 15 minutes of each other. So there weren't really any gyms. So how you followed CrossFit was just you would go onto CrossFit.com and you'd follow the workout of the day. And they would post a workout every day. And that's kind of what you did. And they would post videos and they would post coaches talking about the workouts and things like that. And I got started following CrossFit.com. So I started following that. And I loved it. Just did the workout as often as I could. It used to just crush me. So I couldn't work out every day like that. But
yeah.
And I was also training for baseball and stuff. So I got started back in high school with that, and then really just used it to make myself a better baseball player,
Okay.
Which is what I think it should be used for. Like it should be used as, accessory to your life. Like whether you're an athlete or whether you're just like mom or dad or whether you're whatever you like doing on the weekends kind of thing. Like it should support what you do and make you a better person. It shouldn't be like something that's just all encompassing and it's your entire life, which is what it turned into now for me.
But I think I remember seeing a couple of your videos. Y'all were doing like workouts like in your parents' front yard when you like got back from school or something like that, and y'all were throwing rings around the tree and everything like that.
Yeah, so I would train in my parents' garage and in that cul-de-sac because they were right on a cul-de-sac, and I would also coach a lot of other kids. They were younger than me at the time when I was in college, so I would train a lot of high school kids that were trying to go to college to play sports. Mm-hmm. And I think one summer I had 40 or 50 kids coming running in and out the garage like all day throughout the summer. And my parents were like, yeah, we can't really, it got a little too small, so.
Yeah. So what is that kind of the reason you kind of started the gym? Is like, oh wow, I got all these people that are here, might as well just screw it.
Yeah, I know. I didn't know really what I wanted to do when I graduated. So I graduated with a mechanical engineering degree, thinking that I wanted to go that route, and that's what my dad does. And and I started getting into CrossFit in college pretty big, and I saw what it could do for like other people's lives. And I had a friend that lost like 70 pounds over the summer training for the CrossFit Games with me.
Yeah.
And it was like completely changed his outlook on everything. It was pretty cool. And I was like, man, this stuff's, it's like, it really works. It's really good. It's helpful in all of these certain ways. And I just kind of fell in love with it, and then wanted to share it with as many people as I could. So I opened the gym, and that's kind of what I was passionate about, was just, hey, here's the right way to exercise. Here's the right way to eat. Here's what you guys can do. Just come show up at the gym. And it ended up being this, you're there, this community that's just a great group of people that all want to get better. So it's fun every day.
So how do you like go about starting a gym? You're like, okay, well, hey, let's start a gym. Well, okay, that's great. Like, how does that even work? Like, how do you even go about starting a gym?
CrossFit made it kind of easy. I don't know if it's too easy, but CrossFit made it pretty easy. All you got to do is pay the affiliation fee, and anybody can open a gym. So you have to have a level 1, your level 1 certification, and then you have to pay the affiliation fee, and you can open a gym. But that doesn't mean that you're going to be a successful gym. Or a successful business. So there's a lot more to it. But it's fairly easy to open one, but it's much harder to run a successful one.
Yeah. So do you feel like for you going to the CrossFit Games, you more or less starting in your own backyard, having like 40 people, do you think that kind of really helped, that giving you the confidence to like really get started and really open up your gym?
Yeah, I was just really passionate about it. I really saw the methodology. I really love the methodology. I love what it's about, and the fact that it works and seems to be true. And it helps a lot of people. And I'm very passionate about that, and things that are true and right. I try to, it's a good thing to spread and help other people, and it seems to help other people. So that's kind of what I was really enjoyed, and it just kind of grew from there. So it's not like, I was a little nervous about starting it, but it worked out.
Screw it.
Yeah, sure.
I think for me, like when I went to do CrossFit at your gym years ago, and I think the main reason I decided to go to your gym rather than anyone else's gyms is because they always have the saying that, hey, if you want to be the best, you got to more or less train with the best. So at that time, you were like fighting for like the top 3 spots in the CrossFit Games. I was like, well, I'm definitely going there because he definitely knows what he's doing. So when I joined, I didn't realize it because it was a lot of cardio. Like I now played basketball. Like let's say I was in CrossFit for like 3 months, and I played basketball. And I was like, what in the world? Like I just didn't get tired. I was like, man, I should have done this all the time.
Yeah.
And then I got hurt playing football and all that stuff, and I was like, man, I don't think I can physically do this anymore because all my knee, I had full knee surgery and everything like that. And I started going to CrossFit again, like probably a couple months ago. And now, like my whole back, I feel like it's completely like feels good and everything like that. And so the whole concept of like, oh well, it's only for like serious athletes and everything, kind of like I kind of almost helped debunk, because for me, I need like high energy to do everything I'm doing, and I feel like CrossFit kind of gives you that. Like I need to like not get tired and be more healthier, and I feel like it's really hard to. And then CrossFit kind of forces you to eat healthy because hey, if I don't eat healthy, I'm gonna probably die the next day.
You probably won't feel as good in the workout.
Yeah, I'd probably die. But so I guess you did touch on some of the benefits of CrossFit and everything like that. But what would you say to people that like, oh well, I'm not gonna do CrossFit because like a lot of people say like, oh, the form's bad and stuff like that. Like you're like physical trainers and stuff like that talk about.
Oh, that's a very common one, especially on YouTube or Instagram. Everybody knows what they're saying on the internet. But that's a big thing because one of the big parts of CrossFit is the intensity portion, right? So like you want to do the workout at the correct intensity that you get a good workout from, a good stimulus from the workout. But you also have to balance with that the appropriate form to go with that intensity. And that's a very fine line, and it's honestly very hard for athletes to find in the gym. And sometimes it's hard for coaches to tell athletes to, hey, lighten the weight. Hey, go a little slower. Like, you've been in the gym. Yeah. It gets competitive at times. So, a lot of the things and most of the things that people see online they're going to see the competitions. They're going to see the part where people are going as hard as they can, as fast as they can, or as heavy as they can. And that's what you're going to see. And that's what people make fun of, or that's what people, joke about or whatever. But there's a very fine line between intensity and form, and you need to be able to hold that. And that's why you have coaches at your gym. And that's why a gym is a successful gym, because they make sure that people don't get injured, and they don't have a very high injury rate. It's just the people that you might see online are the ones that are just pushing themselves to the extreme.
Yeah. And I mean, I played sports my whole life. I played college football and college baseball.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, my form, even when I went to your gym originally, like was bad. I was like, dang. I played like football, and I had football trainers and all that stuff. No one really taught me like, hey, you're then Ben comes up and say, hey, you're deadlifting wrong. So it's like I feel like that kind of level of coaching really helps you physically to not be hurt or anything like that, because you're doing it a lot correctly, and helps you grow more physically faster.
Yeah, I mean, you grow a lot faster too, right? Like if you have a good foundation and a good base, you can build something up a little higher. You can grow a little faster and a little further. But if we focus on that and we start with that and make sure everybody has that good foundation and good base, and then we can let them go, they can really learn the right way. It's really hard when you have somebody that wants to just go faster, just go heavy, because it feels like to them you're always taking 2 steps back before you can take a step forward. Yeah. And it's just that process. If it's always 2 steps back every time, it just feels like you're moving the wrong way. Whereas if you just come in with the mentality to the gym, like, hey, I'm just going to come and try to move the best I can. And then gradually over time, I'm going to improve my intensity, and I'm going to make my workouts a little bit harder. That should be your goal, and that should be your mindset when you come into the gym, because a lot of times, people come in with the opposite mindset, but also they're not ready for that intensity. They're not ready to go as hard as they can on day one. So you do want to ease into that as well. So if you're brand new, you want to go in with the idea of like, hey, I'm going to work on my form, but have that in mind that I see how hard everybody else around me is pushing themselves. I'm going to get to that point at some point, but I'm going to work my way there progressively. I'm not just going to jump right into that and sacrifice my form.
Yeah. So if someone did, let's say like, there's a bunch of people there that like have athletic experience and stuff like that, so that's probably a lot easier for them. What about someone who's like never really worked out and wants to go to a gym, and I guess like them seeing CrossFit on TV, that wow, that's extremely intense. I don't know if I can do that. What would be your advice to like kind of help build them along their fitness journey?
I would make sure that they know each person in the class or each person that you see in the gym, they're working at a relative intensity to them personally, right? So like, you got 5 people there, they're all going at a different pace but a different intensity, relative to their abilities and where they are in their, in their fitness journey or whatever you want to call it, right? CrossFit journey. And you're just going to start again at square one. Start with the mindset of, hey, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to move well. I'm going to improve my form. I'm going to improve the way that I move. I'm going to focus on that. And then I can, push myself a little bit in the workouts, and the coaches should be there. And that's what the coaches are there for, to help make sure your athletes are pushing themselves a little bit, but not too much. Right. So we want to make sure everybody's, I'm going to say the word struggling. Everybody's pushing themselves in class, but it's not like they're killing themselves or sacrificing their form, right? So we want everybody to kind of be on the same level, and that's what the coach's job is, to try to maintain that for everybody across the board, which is obviously very hard to do. But I try to do that like one-on-one with people throughout the class. Yeah. And as I get to know them, like, over the weeks or whatever, you get to know them, you can tailor that to them.
Yeah, I think it's pretty impressive you remember everyone's names too, because I always ask everyone's names.
That's the hard part. I'm not great with names, so.
Because then the first couple of times, I'm like, dang, I can't ask them again. And they're gonna like, wow, you really just asked me like 3 times.
Yeah. We used to write everybody's name on the whiteboard, and then we have so many people that come into class. It's so hard to get everybody down there all the time and have time to coach. So, it's hard sometimes.
Like give them name tags.
Yeah.
But I guess for like the business aspect of it, like how do you go about choosing the name, like location and stuff like that for your gym?
It was name wise. My brother actually helped come up with the name for it. We were just throwing out names and couldn't come up, because you have to pick a name that's unique to all the other CrossFit gyms to not unique like stand apart, but unique. It has to be different. You can't have the same name as somebody else. Yeah. And there were a lot of names that were taken, so we were just throwing out names, and CrossFit Krypton came up, and we're like, oh, that's cool, that's it. And we just stuck with that. But
it's like Superman.
Yeah, it's like the superhero stuff. I always love those Marvel movies and all that. Who doesn't? And then location wise, it was hard to find a commercial building in Chesapeake, to be honest.
I imagine.
Yeah, so we were looking for any commercial space we could, and we found that little spot on, what was it? Right, we're on Bruton Court now, but I don't even Kegman Road.
Yeah, next door.
It was a small little spot, like just under 3,000 square feet, and we made it work and opened the doors and grew from there.
So how do you go about getting like the financing part? Did you just like take out a bunch of loans? Did you use the money do you want like for at CrossFit doing the competitions or?
Yeah, so in the very beginning, some sponsorship money, right, and some stuff from that. But my parents helped me, like took a loan from my parents, right, for the first for the equipment for the gym,
Yeah.
and that's how we got started there for all the equipment. Yeah,
That's what I'm seeing stuff online like create a home gym. It can
yeah,
get really expensive up front too. So that
for
would
sure.
make you like nervous, like wow, I gotta take all this money out and I gotta borrow money from my parents. Like I might not be invited to Christmas if I don't do that.
Yeah, no, they've helped me. They've helped me with a ton of stuff, so I'm very thankful for them. But yeah, no, I knew that wouldn't happen.
So even like starting out, what were some of the obstacles that y'all had to jump through when you were originally starting the gym?
Some of the obstacles. I mean, the regular obstacles of opening a business. Just all those little things. But the biggest one for me was I had to coach all the classes throughout the day,
Yeah.
and still 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. and still train for the CrossFit Games. So for me, that was like the biggest part. And then we found Adam moved down and became a full-time coach, and kind of the staff just grew from there, and it's continued to grow since then. But that
Was
was
he one of
probably
the 40 people, or did you just know him from like?
He was a friend from high school.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and he went to Rutgers, played soccer there, and then came back one summer. I think it was the summer of his senior year, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm not, I'm looking for a job." And I was like, "Hey, you want to work here?" And that was the conversation. It just kind of went from there.
Nice.
Oh,
Yeah, perfect fit.
Yeah.
Got lucky with him, that's for sure.
Yeah, he's a really great guy. That's
Yeah.
who like was my coach originally when I joined your gym. He's a really great guy.
Yeah.
He almost has like the coaching mentality, like to help people and kind of break things down to like
Yes.
just starting out too. So
yeah, he's a people person for sure.
yeah. So what were some of the lessons that you learned like when you starting a business or like starting out? What were some of the lessons like you didn't think, like when you originally started? You're like, oh, I didn't know this, but now I do. Like how did that go about? Yeah, business wise. Like
Business
appealing to everyone, like like let's say you have like one workout, not everyone's capable of doing that one workout. So what were some of like the lessons that like kind of like get everyone involved kind of thing?
You mean on the coaching programming side or on the business side?
Honestly, both.
I mean, honestly, business side, my dad helps me a lot with the business stuff and things on that side, all the paperwork, taxes, things like that. He helps me with all that.
Stuff.
Yeah, the stuff that's really time consuming.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the hardest part is like time management, right?
Yeah.
All those little things like that. But trying to think. I mean, I'm still learning. I still don't feel like I know too much.
So what would be your biggest like advice? Let's say like, hey, someone wanted to open up a gym, not even if it's a CrossFit gym or not, or even if it's a CrossFit gym. What would be your biggest advice for someone who wanted to open their business? Like, because I know a lot of like gym, everyone seems to want to open a gym, but not many of them are very successful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think you do have to. I think you do have to treat it like a business. So a lot of people that open CrossFit gyms and think of it like they're trying to just do a service to the community, or at least that's how it was when I started. But now, if you want to open a gym now, it has to be a business. It has to be business oriented, right? So you have to be able to, you have to make money to stay in business, right? So that would be probably the first thing there. And then the second thing to follow up with that, to be completely counter to that, is you have to do it for the right reasons, right?
Yeah.
Like you have to care about every single person that comes into your gym like they're a part of your family, and that you want them to get better, and that you truly do care about them, and you truly want to give them this product that you are passionate about, right? So you really just have to care. So I think those two things hand in hand make a really good business.
I think that's one of the main keys for like everything. It seems like, hey, if you have that mentality to serve others in business, it seems like that's like the mentality you go forth. Like you're helping people, you're providing a service and all that stuff. You truly care about people and creating a community. It seems
Exactly.
like to me that's how like almost a lot of businesses are successful if they create that community.
Mm-hmm.
They care about their people.
Yeah, I think you're spot on with that. And that's what the last question you asked was, what have I learned from it? I think that's exactly what I would say.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
And I do feel like it is like a community though. Like even not just CrossFit in general, but even like the gym. Like I feel like the biggest thing that I love it so much is like it reminds me of like football workouts. Like you're all working out together.
Yeah.
You're all suffering together.
Yeah, it's fun.
So,
There's some weird fun about it, you know.
yeah. Or even like when you like sometimes you have like team workouts. It's like those are the worst. I feel like because like when you're the other person's waiting, you look at the other person like, dang, like you're not done yet. Like come on.
You don't want to let it. You don't
Yeah,
want
you
to
don't
let
want to
your
let the
partner
other
down.
person down.
No, you can't. But it pushes you a little bit. We just find different ways to do that, you know.
That's
it
one
fun.
of the things that has gotten me interested in it, seeing him come home from the gym every
Yeah.
day. Because I'm like, CrossFit as a workout for somebody that is not from that world is pretty intimidating.
Sure,
But
sure.
like now learning about the community and like just seeing like how that operates is pretty cool.
Is that the biggest obstacle you would have in your way of trying it?
I'm just intimidated by the style of workouts. So I think
that's
the
totally normal.
community part is what like makes me want to do it though.
Mm-hmm. Sure,
it's that's cool. It's not just going to the gym, doing your own thing for an hour and then leaving.
Yeah.
It's more of like you create relationships with those people when you're dying and teamwork workouts.
Right, right.
But I guess so. If it was somebody that like had no gym experience, either regular gym or CrossFit, is it something they can just walk in your gym and start doing?
I think for the most part, yes. And we've had a good handful of people that have been like that. And for me as a coach, they're the most fun because they see so much progress so quickly, and it's really, really cool to see them grow. Like not only physically, but they'll open up. They start being more confident. You know, things like that. It's really cool to see that all around change and shift in a person when they realize they can do something that they didn't think they could do.
Yeah.
It's just all it takes is that mentality of wanting to come in and try something different, or wanting to like be open to coming in and doing something a little bit outside your comfort zone, you know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think now that y'all almost kind of like structured like to kind of really help people, because right now, like even before I went back there years ago to now you do like fit classes to like kind of like ease people into doing like CrossFit and stuff. Can you like kind of tell her about that stuff?
Yeah.
That would be my next question.
Yeah,
do you just CrossFit or fit class first?
You could do either first. So if you do
Okay.
CrossFit classes first, we have you do an introduction class. If you do fit classes, we more than likely just let you go into the fit classes because the movements are much more basic. So we try to keep it really simple because we know people love that. You know, everybody's calling it different things now, but it's just CrossFit with a different spin on it, right? That high intensity interval training. So we made a class. It's called Krypton Fit, and it's just 30 minutes, and it's mostly body weight movements. We have some cardio equipment, things like that, but we try to keep the movements really simple, really basic. You can just jump in and try it out. Gives you a little bit of taste of the intensity of it, but it's very different from CrossFit because there's not a whole ton of things that you're working on other than just coming in and getting a good 10 to 25 minute workout, right? With CrossFit, there's, you know, you have the mobility side of it. There's there's nutrition, there's different skills that you can work on. There's strength. And then there's all these things that you can kind of work on. You can do that in the fit classes, but there's just less focus on it, right?
Yeah. Nice. Now, bringing up nutrition, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
would you say that's outside of the actual workout itself? Is that the biggest factor when it comes to CrossFit?
It is definitely important. I'd say you can't really have. It's hard to have one without the other. Like it's hard to eat really poorly and come into the gym and work out because one, you won't see a lot of progress, and two, you just kind of feel bad working out every day. You know, like you get fitter and you get stronger, but you know, you want to see improvement across the board. The nutrition side is the side that people miss a lot. I wish people in our gym were more focused on nutrition because it is so important, but I think it's great. I I still think it's great that they're coming in and getting a good workout. You see everybody super fit at the gym, right? And we have a Tori at the gym. Tori does nutrition for us, and she runs seminars, new member seminars, and she runs seminars for people that just want to come in and learn about nutrition. And she's awesome, and she's got so much information, and we just haven't had people come and take advantage of it. I mean, it's included in membership, and still don't have people come in and take advantage of it. And she's there all the time. She does like personal one-on-one stuff. I know I'm speaking to Tyler right now. Am I not?
I was gonna say. I will say he gave us his bowl of ice cream every night.
I see you elbowing him, saying, "Hey."
No, so we had this argument. So it was like about is it more nutrition or more fitness? I feel like it's more fitness because I feel like, hey, if I kill myself in the gym and I eat like crap, I feel like, hey, I'm still gonna get better because like,
yeah.
But if you don't work out and it's all nutrition, I feel like you might just be skinny.
Yeah, so it's the same thing as when you said I thought I was in shape and then I came in and did CrossFit and now basketball's easy.
Yeah.
Same idea, right? So it's like as soon as you start eating well, you'll be like, wow, I didn't realize how much of an effect
how wrong I was doing that.
food had on my performance, right? It's one of those things like, hey, you gotta give it a shot and experiment for yourself, and then you'll see kind of the effects of it.
So if you had to put a number on it, is it like 70 nutrition and 30?
70, 30, 60, 40, more nutrition. Yeah, that's what I'd say. That's what I'd say. So it's important. It's very important.
No more packages of Oreos and containers of ice cream.
There's a time and place for all that, you know. It's just it's not every day.
Yeah.
So did you know nutrition to start with, or did you just kind of like start learning over the years, kind of?
Yeah, I've been learning over the course of my career, but I'm still learning. But I've tried all the different diets that you follow. Mostly people that followed the paleo diet or whatever it was back when I started CrossFit. So I did a lot of that. But now I'm just kind of on something more of like typical of a zone diet, you call it, where you eat everything. It's just balanced proportions, proteins, carbohydrates, fats.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
So why do you think like the gym has been so successful? Because now it seems like you're doing a lot. It seems like I've seen your let's say you have CrossFit, you have the fit classes now. I think it's your brother's business because that's just the sign is like Dad Bod Fitness.
Oh yeah.
That's
our online programming.
Okay.
That's like a branch of our online programming that Dane runs. Yeah.
Okay. And that's strictly just like just normal body weight stuff, right?
Yeah, it's no, it's actually just one workout. He tries to make it accessible to anybody. Like if you're working out at home in your garage, and it's like 20 minutes, just a quick accessible workout. The fun part about it is that he's so creative with the workouts, and he does such a good job with them. They're fun, you know, and they're different and they're challenging. And he's a very creative person, so he's come up with a lot of cool stuff.
So as fun as suffering can be.
Yeah, as fun as it can get.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what is your least favorite part of like owning a gym and that process? Like, what's your least favorite part?
All the stuff outside of like the everyday, you know, being at the gym, coaching, training, doing your things.
So like accounting or like taxes.
The paperwork.
Yeah, all that other stuff, right? I still don't know how to do.
So I have a question. So now, like, because you have CrossFit Krypton, I see on the internet, and then you have Krypton Athletics. Are they the same thing, or are they different?
Yeah, the Krypton Athletics. I tried to just rename it. That's just this last year. I tried to rename our online programming something a little bit different. So that's kind of like the branch of CrossFit Krypton would be Krypton Athletics, and that's our online programming branch. So I do online programming through that name. Yeah.
I think that's really what it seems like me talking to a lot of business owners lately. Like the best way they seem to be successful is they start with one thing, but then they start like bringing in all these other different kind of streams that kind of all lead toward your main goal. Like you got Dad Bod Fitness, you got fit classes. Y'all run in the park or something. I've been here.
Yeah.
What's that about?
We have like a little running club, a Krypton running club, or whatever they want to call it. They rename it something every week.
Okay. Y'all just like just all running, and can anyone join that or? Yeah,
we meet up on Saturdays and we run. We have a bunch of people that come, but Rick runs that, and Rick isn't a coach or a gym. He's just somebody he's programmed running for me. He was a runner back in Virginia Tech back in the day. And he's very talented, knows what he's doing, and he's been programming for me for running for the longest time. And we've been running every Saturday, and it's just kind of picked up recently where a lot of people like coming and just running with us. It's everybody from all different, levels and everything. They just come on Saturdays and we run. So
I think my next question is not necessarily about business or fitness. I just really want to know. So what's it like being in the CrossFit Games? Like how does that even work? Like hey, you go let's say you make the cut and they send you to I don't know some random and doing the workouts. How does that being in the games like what's that even like?
being in the games is fun. It's definitely changed over the years, like the whole competing process and everything. So right now there's a couple stages that you have to qualify to get there. And what I loved about the games in the beginning was I just saw them online. I said, I want to do that someday. That looks awesome. And there was no qualification to get there. You would just sign up and go. But I was 18 years old. I'm not just going to, pay a couple $100 and go fly across the country and compete in California at this thing that I've never really done before. So then the next year they had qualifiers and I had to qualify to go get there. And I qualified and went. And then every year after that, they've had qualification processes. So it's changed a little bit over the years, but
Do you think that's because the interest is picked up? Like CrossFit has got more popular.
Yeah, CrossFit's gotten a lot more popular. More people have kind of heard about it. It's in good ways and in bad ways. So it's like, public opinion is kind of very easily swayed, and it's very difficult to get a good name out there to everybody.
Yeah. So when did you've been competing in the CrossFit Games for like since 2010?
2009 was my first games.
Okay. And you got like third place in like the it was like 13 or 14, right?
Yeah, I've got third twice. I think it was 2013 was my last third place. Yeah, I think it was like 2011, 2013 or something like that. I don't remember.
So how was that feeling? Like you got so close.
No, I looked at those years like honestly, my first couple of years, I just went to the games and I was trying to just see what I could do. I didn't know if I was good enough to compete there, and I wasn't sure. And I was just training at my back, literally training in a mud pit in my backyard at college. Like you should have seen the pit. You should have seen what I was training in. I put like a couple 2x4s or a couple sheets of plywood down on top of a couple of railroad ties. Yeah. That was my lifting platform. I built a pull-up bar in my backyard with some 4x4s and some concrete, and just poured it into the ground.
You were legit Rocky IV, like you were.
You should have seen it. That's how I trained. Yeah, it was just fun. I just did it like that, and then you show up in California and compete, and everything's like you're in the tennis stadium at the StubHub Center, wherever it was, Home Depot Center, and under the lights, and it's a big deal and everything. But yeah, I finished third, and I looked at it as a year of like, okay, hey, what I'm doing is working. Like it's like let's go again. Let's see if you can keep progressing forward. And then I think after I got third, I said to myself, I can win, and I wanted to and I didn't want to stop till I won it. So
because the year I was actually at Krypton way back when y'all were still leasing the building. My 1 year I went was the year you won.
Oh, okay.
So I'll clear that out there.
Yeah. Nice.
And I think it's crazy because it's like when you're there, it was literally like I feel like you were working at every time I was there. Like I was there multiple different times a day. It was like every single day. And how many times do you work out a day? I just want to know.
Well, the training leading up to the games is pretty tough. Normally, it's just once or twice a day, but training leading up to the games, you're training almost all day.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like your regular 9-to-5 job, but working out.
So how do you do you say, okay, well, here's a running, snatch, swimming, all this stuff. You got to throw it all in there at once.
Mm-hmm.
How does do you just let's do the rock, like work out every single muscle every single day?
I mean, there's a lot of overlap. Sure, if you want to look at it that way, there's a ton of overlap. But I try to break it up throughout the week pretty evenly and make sure I'm not doing too much of the same thing over and over. My body normally lets me know when I'm doing too much of one thing.
Yeah.
So I normally go by feel, but I've kind of built up a good structure over the years.
Okay. So, are you still competing in the games now, or like?
This year, I'm not competing. I went to my last competition, and for the first time in a while, I didn't qualify. So I finished 10th in this competition, and top 5 qualified. It was very close. It was just really good competition this year. So it's not a lot I can say. I performed well, I thought, but I still know that I can compete and I should be competing. So I'll try again next year.
So is that like almost like when you having to do it for so long? Is it like almost like hard to keep maintaining that? Like, say, like almost because like you feel like a lot of people are like, oh, you're expected to do this, and kind of keeping up that main mentality over that long period. I feel like it's difficult because they say like, oh yeah, you can get there, but maintaining it is like the hardest thing.
Yeah, no, for sure it has been. It's been a ride too. Like I've learned over the years. Like there's definitely been some years in there where it's like I'm either injured or I'm not mentally, I'm not there as much as I was in the year before. Or, you know, we have our daughter, and it's like life just happens and things like that, and it just changes things up. So I'm still learning. I'm still making progress. I'm still just trying to push forward, and I think that I can still compete again. So I want to try again. You know.
Yeah. I think everyone can kind of hear my daughter in the background.
Yeah.
Life happens.
Yeah, for sure. It's fun.
So how's that kind of going? Like, cause now like you just had your daughter, you kind of like have to juggle everything. You just got to feel like you got to be even more structured and time management skills and everything.
Yeah, I mean, you guys get it, right? Just being a little more deliberate about your time management and when you're doing what you're doing.
Okay. So, being someone who's not all into CrossFit, what do you feel like it's kind of like open your eyes through this process?
Yeah.
You can be honest with it. You can just tell them no.
For sure.
It's not good enough.
It's okay.
No, I was gonna say I'll probably be giving it a shot after this.
Cool.
I think I might start with the fit class. That sounds
it's a good
like
idea.
a good first go at it.
Yeah, so you heard this. So if you don't see her for a while,
yeah, putting it out there, that's good. Good accountability.
What was my last question? So y'all, I guess we didn't get into y'all bought a building now because you leased it and everything like that. Did you just go to the bank and say like, hey, we want to buy this piece of land? Like, how do you go about like financing that part? Did you just use all your money from winning the games back in 2015, or you just kind of
took out a loan for the building and the property and everything. So yeah.
So do you feel like that was even more risk? Like, okay, well now, I leased it, but hey, if it doesn't go, if things go bad, like heck, it's in the lease. Now it's like, oh, I got a building. Now I got even more responsibility.
Yeah, and then but the building's worth something, so it's kind of like that's the good part about it, and you know how that goes. So that's good. It's like if worst came to worst, right? You still have the building and the land. It's always going to be worth something.
That's true.
Yeah.
So where do you see like CrossFit Krypton going in the future? Would you ever open up another shop, or just continue to expand like your online presence and everything? Because I feel like the gym, like I mean, everyone's all about the gym. The gym does get kind of packed sometimes.
Yeah, the gym's been really busy. It's really busy, especially during the summer times, which is great. It's hard to grow anymore where we are, like in the building that we're in. We're getting there to our capacity. I don't know if I'd want to open another one. I love what we have here, and it's hard to replicate again somewhere else.
Yeah.
Other people do it. I don't know that it's something that I'm really super interested in, but maybe so. I've tried to go more of the online route with the programming and kind of starting to build a little bit of a community outside of just the gym, so that we have something online.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's kind of the way that things are going in the future. You see things going more online and virtual, and
that's true.
Things like that. So I've been trying to push, going in that direction a little bit more with the programming side. See what happens.
Well, I really appreciate you coming on here and kind of showing the experience of what it's like being a business owner, and kind of evolving over time to like you started small and now you kind of build Krypton to what it is today.
Definitely.
So, I already knew the story, and I'm glad you were able to share it.
That's good.
And, well, hopefully we just found our future fellow CrossFitter.
Yeah, there we go. Nice.
I'll give it a go.
I'm glad I came on then.